Have you ever wondered how Bitcoin manages to produce a new block exactly every 10 minutes even though the number of miners is constantly changing? I mean, think about it. Sometimes there are millions of miners competing to solve the puzzle, and sometimes there are fewer. Yet, somehow, Bitcoin consistently creates blocks every 10 minutes like clockwork. How does this work? In this video, we are going to explain what Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment algorithm is, why it's crucial for the network stability, and how it automatically keeps everything running smoothly. Imagine you're running a pizza delivery business and you promise customers that pizzas will be delivered every 10 minutes. Sometimes you have 5 delivery drivers working and sometimes you have 50. The problem is when you have more drivers, pizzas get delivered much faster than 10 minutes. When you have fewer drivers, it takes much longer than 10 minutes. To solve this, you could adjust how difficult it is to find each customer's house. When you have lots of drivers, you could make the addresses more cryptic and harder to decode, slowing them down. When you have fewer drivers, you could make the addresses clearer and easier to find, speeding them up. This way, regardless of how many drivers you have, pizzas consistently get delivered every 10 minutes. This is essentially what Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment algorithm does. It's basically a built-in mechanism that automatically changes how hard it is for miners to solve the cryptographic puzzle required to create new blocks. The goal is simple: maintain an average block time of 10 minutes no matter how many miners are participating in the network. Think of it like this: Bitcoin mining is basically a massive guessing game. Miners are trying to find a number called a nonce that, when combined with the block data, produces a hash that starts with a certain number of zeros. The more zeros required, the harder the puzzle becomes. Let's use an analogy. Imagine miners are trying to roll dice to get a specific combination. If the difficulty requires them to roll triple sixes, that's pretty hard and will take many attempts. But if the difficulty only requires them to roll any combination with at least one 6, that's much easier and will happen much faster. But how does it work? Here's where it gets really clever. Every 2016 blocks, which should take exactly 2 weeks if blocks are being produced every 10 minutes, Bitcoin automatically checks how long those blocks actually took to mine. If the 2016 blocks were mined faster than 2 weeks, it means there are more miners competing, so Bitcoin increases the difficulty. If it took longer than 2 weeks, it means there are fewer miners, so Bitcoin decreases the difficulty. The adjustment is mathematically precise. If blocks were being produced every 5 minutes instead of 10, the difficulty would roughly double. If blocks were taking 20 minutes instead of 10, the difficulty would roughly halve. But wait, why is this so important? First, predictable block times mean predictable transaction processing. Users know that their transactions will be confirmed at regular intervals, making Bitcoin reliable for everyday use. Second, it maintains security. If blocks were produced too quickly, the blockchain could become less secure. If blocks were produced too slowly, transactions would take forever to confirm, making Bitcoin impractical. Third, it keeps Bitcoin decentralized. Without difficulty adjustment, if mining became too easy, a single powerful miner could potentially take over the network. If it became too hard, smaller miners would be forced out, concentrating mining power in fewer hands. Let's look at some real examples. Back in 2017, during the massive Bitcoin bull run, tons of new miners joined the network because Bitcoin's price was skyrocketing. Without difficulty adjustment, blocks would have been produced every 2 to 3 minutes instead of 10. But the algorithm automatically increased the difficulty, bringing block times back to 10 minutes. Conversely, in 2018, when Bitcoin's price crashed, many miners shut down their operations because mining was no longer profitable. The algorithm detected that blocks were taking 15 to 20 minutes to produce and automatically decreased the difficulty, bringing block times back to 10 minutes. If you are curious about the actual calculation, here's how it works. Bitcoin takes the total time it actually took to mine the last 2016 blocks and divides it by the target time of 20,160 minutes or 2 weeks. If the ratio is greater than 1, difficulty increases. If it's less than 1, difficulty decreases. However, there is a safety mechanism built in. The difficulty can only change by a maximum factor of 4 in either direction during any single adjustment. You might wonder why Bitcoin uses 2016 blocks instead of adjusting after every block. The answer is stability. If Bitcoin adjusted difficulty after every single block, the network would be constantly fluctuating, creating instability. By using a 2-week period, Bitcoin gets enough data to make accurate adjustments while maintaining stability. Think of it like adjusting the temperature in your house. You don't want the thermostat changing the temperature every second based on tiny fluctuations. That would create an uncomfortable environment. Instead, you want it to monitor the temperature over a reasonable period and make measured adjustments. Many other cryptocurrencies have copied Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment mechanism, but some have made modifications. For example, some altcoins adjust difficulty more frequently to respond faster to changes in mining power. Others use different mathematical formulas to calculate adjustments. Ethereum, before its transition to proof of stake, used a similar system but with some variations to account for its different block times and mining algorithm. Bitcoin's difficulty adjustment algorithm is like having an automatic cruise control system for the entire blockchain. It ensures that no matter how many miners join or leave the network, blocks continue to be produced every 10 minutes, keeping Bitcoin secure, predictable, and decentralized. This elegant solution to a complex problem shows just how thoughtfully Bitcoin was designed. Satoshi Nakamoto didn't just create a digital currency. They created a self-regulating system that can adapt to changing conditions while maintaining its core properties. If you enjoyed learning about this fundamental aspect of Bitcoin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more crypto education content. Also, if you want to dive deeper into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency topics, check out my articles at iexplaincrypto.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.